My next guest I have known a long time. I think the first time I saw Johnny Winters was when I was back filling in for Jack Parr. A lot of people forget that Jack Parr had a morning show. Do you remember that?
Sure I do, yeah.
On CBS. He used to do it out of Grand Central Station. They used to do 3 hours. I don't know why I got into this, but I was saying he did it at 7 in the morning and did 1 hour for the East Coast. This is all live. Then the Midwest and the West Coast would pick up the second hour. Then you would have to go back and repeat the first hour of the show live again for the western part of the country, which meant 3 hours a morning. And all of a sudden one day I was filling in for Jack, and this had to be, I think, in 1956 or 55, something like that. And they said, there's a strange man here. And Johnny Winters came out, and he was strange, and he was funny, and he's a brilliant and inventive guy, and it's always something to look forward to when he shows up here. Would you welcome Jonathan Winters? So you know,
Almost a standing ovation there. They were like this.
It was kind of a,
I guess
it's kind of a squatting
that's
ovation.
about as close as I'll ever get. I'm very pleased with that.
If they just make a move, that's enough. Now, when I said strange, you knew what I... No, I'm off the sauce. I'm off the sauce too. Yes, you know that. I have joined you.
I just have a little shaving lotion on. Just a little something. It's just to touch your tongue, you know.
just for old days,
Oh,
huh?
yeah, sure.
Just take a little sample of it. Now, when I introduce you as strange, you know what I meant.
Oh, I know.
You know,
Sure, I know.
The audience sometimes thinks that I mean mad or insane,
Yes,
and I don't mean that.
No, I understand. I think that there are a lot of strange people, you know. I was a strange child.
Were you really?
Yeah. I used to get up on the top of the barn with the pigeons. And, you know, just... And to see a man, you know, in full overalls go, hey, what's he doing up there? Then when I tried to jump down, why, you know, they'd stick you with a fork.
That kind of
made me even
set your life,
stranger.
yes. You never really lived on a farm, did you? Did you live on a farm?
Yes,
Oh, you
yes.
did?
I lived on a farm first 7 years of my life.
Well, I didn't know
And
that.
I used to go along the creek banks, as we call them.
The creek.
Not the creek. Later on in school, you were told, you know, to say creek. But I still say crick. And
What the hell with them? You're out of school?
I'm out of
you know?
school. I paid their little bills. And, but I shucked corn and cut wheat. Made a great salary. I think 3 months, $25 was tops to get my bicycle. And I always tell my boy that, and he does this. Yeah.
Kids don't want to hear that.
They
do
don't want to hear that, and they're going to hear that until I go to the great place in the sky.
The great silo up there
Yes, the
somewhere.
great silo. But I still enjoy going back to the farm. I did want to tell you a little kind of a semi-funny story. Never want to say funny because they're, let's hear it.
That wasn't funny.
Wasn't funny. So I went back, I usually go back home, being from Ohio. I know you're from Nebraska, and you're Ed from Pennsylvania. New England. That covers a lot of states. I guess you owe some bills back there. The minute you know, that's like my saying the Middle West. It's all right.
I went home this last weekend, you know, to Nebraska.
Oh, did you go home to Nebraska?
I went home to Nebraska. Yeah.
We're up there.
Had a great time.
Two folks from Omaha.
Did you? But you returned home, huh?
I returned home for, my reason was for money. I went home to do a commercial just north of Cincinnati, and, guys, thank you. Nebraska and Ohio are tied. But at any rate, I went up to see an old friend of mine, Wally. I don't think we have to give Wally's last name. For a lot of reasons. But he had the big blues on, the big Benz, as we call the full bib overalls. And I went in to see him. He was getting ready for, it was fishing time now back home. You know, it's been a couple of months now, I guess they've been fishing. They've had some tornadoes which took the majority of the fish away. Just- and that will take every bit of line, you know. Hey, boy, I was hooked onto that one, you know. Hey, there. And then when you see the rod end reel, and eventually the guy goes, you know, why,
It's bad
fishing is off for that,
Of course.
for those couple of days. But at any rate, I went to see Wally, and he had the big cement tank there with the dead minnows in it. And those are minnows, I should say. And, of course, there's some night crawlers and some garden worms, and that's pretty much it, plus some cheap fishing equipment. And so I walked over to Wally, and I said, Wally, how you doing? And he said, hey, real good to see you, John. What you been doing? And so right away I have to fill in, you know, some 20 years. And I said, he said, are you out there on Elmwood? And I said, oh, no. I'm not on Elmwood Avenue. I've been out there. Looked at him kind of, you know, strange. He was looking at me. And I said, I left there when I went to war. Is that right? Are you out there on St. Paris Pike? Your mom was out there. Yeah, my mom's dead now, and so is my stepfather. Hell, he is. So now he said, well, where are you? And I said, I'm out in California. I was 11 years in New York, and I live out in California now. I was out there in Long Beach in the Navy during WW2. And I said, well, there were a lot of people in the Navy, I guess, up and down the coast. And he said, I was beat up there one night in Long Beach by some guy. I don't know what he was. Beat me up, but I managed to get back aboard ship with a real good tattoo. And so that was his experience in this western area. And then he said, well, what are you doing? And I said, well, I'm in television, Wally. He said, you know, Ruth Ann's got a Zenith. I wonder if you'd take a look at it. I said then, I don't know why I said this, but I said, no, I'm an actor, a comedian. And there was a long take. That's right. I remember you did that stuff in high school. Yeah, are you still doing that stuff? I said, I'm still doing that stuff. And he went back to the dead minnows.
Wally's not up on current events too much.
No. He has some friends that in the area that he sees, and he told me about them.
Let me cut away for a second.
Just for a second.
Certainly. There's only one place you find the Wishbone name: on fine salad dressings. Watch. We're back. Thank you, Doc. And we're talking to Johnny Winters, and we have Ellen Corby from the Waltons, Ed Bluestone, and Bud Greenspan. We thought we might have some fun, because John gets a kick out of doing this, and he did it all the time on his own show. And you're great at it, just improvising something. And we thought, since this is a political year, we just might set up a few little premises here and play a few different types of people. What do you want to start off? Maybe an old ex-president? Maybe the one living ex-president or something like that? Any particular name at all that...
Millard Settlinger.
Millard Settlinger. Ladies and gentlemen, it's our great pleasure to talk with the only living American ex-president, Millard Settlinger. Mr. President, and I understand that you are always Mr. President, even though, of course, you are now out of office.
Oh, yeah, that's standard, you know. It's like a man is a colonel or a general, you know. He's always a general.
Uh-huh. Does Mrs. Settlinger refer to you as the president, or does she call you Millard?
She's in the basement a lot. And she's scotch taped down there to an old wicker chair.
I see.
I just, you know, after I got out of office, she was good to me in office and with me and helped me campaign, you know, and everything. She would always say the right hand, you know, and all that noise.
Woman behind the man.
Well, now she just sits in a chair and does this with potatoes or apples, you know.
Do you still keep active?
I phased her out.
Phased her out. Do you still keep active, Mr. President, on what is happening?
Yes. I read everything I can get my hands on. I go through a drugstore real quick and pick them up, you know, and read them, and then end up with some milk, you know, cookies, rather than pay for the magazines.
Mr. President, now this question, I hope, Mr. President, you realize that I'm asking this question with all due respect of your office, but it's well known to the voters of this country that you were a poor farm boy.
Oh, gosh, we didn't have anything.
You became president. You come from a poverty-stricken family, and yet today you live in a $6 million home. And
well,
do you care to comment at all on that? How on a president's salary?
I really don't care to comment on that. I'm toward the end of my string, and I don't want it snapped. I did come into some money.
Oh, I see.
Through the people.
I see.
And I wrote to them, all the people in my state, you know, and I said, give me some money. And I don't want to go back to where I was in a little terrible house that we had, was, you know, like this. And,
why, thank you for it. It's been nice talking with you.
Well, nice to talk to you.
How would you like to be remembered, Mr. Sucklinger? Your greatest accomplishment as president that the people will remember you for?
Well, let me say this. And there's, you know, I know you're getting signs all the time in life. Give me the bottom line. Let's get to it.
Right.
For a man 86, I think it's a miracle my delivery is still darn good. All I want is a simple tombstone. Not really tombstone, strike that.
No tombstone.
I want a parking meter with just expired on it.
Thank you, Mr. President. Now let's just go 180 degrees from that and take the role of a brand new eager beaver, young senator or congressman trying to run for office. Well, who would you like to be called?
Brainerd Stayfuss.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with Brainerd Stayfuss.
Brainerd Stayfuss.
Brainerd Stayfuss from this district, who is running for United States Senator.
No, I'm running for president.
Running for president, I see. Well,
I have been a senator. I'm tired of that.
I see. You want to move up.
Yeah.
Don't you think you announced a little late, Mr. Stayfuss, to enter this race?
Better late than never. You know, that's one of our little things on our bumper stickers.
That's not exactly the most original slogan, I might point out.
No, it isn't, but we've been handicapped with only 6 people working in my staff, teenagers, a veteran of a war, and my brother, my sister, and myself. And I'm really excited because I got some fantastic ideas. I really do.
How does your program differ from any of the other candidates? What are you going to give the people?
Well, I'm going to give them more woods.
More woods.
More hillsides.
You're an environmentalist.
You better believe it. I live out in the woods a great deal of time. I'm an outdoor guy. You can look at this. Who would live indoors with this stuff? I love nature. I love nature. I love nature. I'd put a stop to the gun law. I think we ought to have guns, but they should be made of licorice. So if you say freeze, the guy just bites the gun off.
Well, that's certainly a new approach, but you'll probably hear from the National Rifle Association about that.
You're going to hear from somebody all the time.
Right.
My phones are open.
So
we have 2.
Back to nature. Back to nature.
Back to nature is number
woods.
1. Taxes are going to be with us for a long, long time.
Right.
I'd like to eliminate 95% of them. And of course, that's then we don't have no army, no navy, nothing. Then you don't have so many things.
What about the rich? Would you tax the rich more? You think?
I don't think there are many rich left.
Nope.
I think you can get about 55 of them and put them in a good-sized semi and just take them for a hard ride. And I think they'll come around.
Well, Brainerd, is it Brainerd?
Brainerd Stayfuss.
Is that a family name?
I'm gonna definitely. Oh yeah, this was a tough thing with my growing up. I was one of those kids, believe it or not, was very thin as a child and was beaten up through and into high school. And then my body took its place in life. And I turned on guys and dropped them, boy. That's another thing I'm going to put through, is to be able to drop a guy and get away with it.
Well, thank you, and I wish you luck on your race, Senator. Interesting prep. Now, let's try. Let's talk to one of the voters. Now, voters are confused. I'll just talk to a typical befuddled voter here, because your name, sir, is?
Alan Gonlinger.
Ellen?
Gonlinger.
Goinglinger. Where are you from, Alan?
From the South.
From the South. Mm-hmm. Do you have any particular political affiliation at all? What bothers you, Alan?
Well, so many things.
Mm-hmm.
I like a pretty face. I think that's true of men and women. They like a pretty person. An uggo's no fun.
Uggo's no fun.
Uggo's no fun. I want to see a pretty face. I think a pretty couple in the White House would be nice.
Well, a lot of people, you see, Alan, think that is the problem with television, that people vote for the person's image rather than their intellectual capacity. And
I do. I vote for person's image.
For person?
I don't care what they've got in their gourds.
You don't, As long as they're pretty,
as long
nice
as they're
looking.
pretty, get on the plane pretty, get on the train, the bus pretty. That's all. Be pretty.
Be pretty.
Be pretty. Be pretty.
What do you do for a living, Alan?
Well, I've tried so hard to find myself. I feel for the young people. My son has had a hard time finding himself, and his grandson, or my grandson. My wife is having a hard time finding herself. We just can't find us.
I see.
So I think in getting a new president, maybe I'll find myself through him or her. I really, what I have. My late brother.
I'm sorry, I didn't know.
Oh, it's all right.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All right. I was waiting on him to go. He left me $46,000. That's nothing today. I just couldn't, I had one party and it was gone. But he would have wanted me to do that, I think. But I'm very happy. I travel around a great deal, just all over America.
Liking meeting pretty people.
You stay long enough in a good airport, you'll see somebody pretty. I found somebody the other day, a very attractive woman.
How about Mrs. Gunlinger? Is she what you would call a pretty woman? Did you marry her?
Yes, I married her about a year ago. I married quite late.
Oh, I see this.
I'm 50. She's 49.
That is quite late, and is there any particular
It's
reason
late
you
for
waited?
her.
Late for her.
It's late for me, too. She is just doing this. Yeah. That's with gum. So, how long we'll stay together, I don't know.
I thank you, Mr. Gunlinger, for being with us. It's been nice to
Well,
get the voice of the voter today.
I appreciate being here. I'm sorry my wife couldn't get here.
Oh, she's not here today.
No, she fell off the bus. She bombed. But she got on with a young teenager on a motorcycle, and they went off into Bakersfield.
Thank you, Mr. Gunlinger, for that voice of America. Look. Hey, it's always great to have you here.
Well, I hate to run. I'm
I know you
doing
guys-
a play in Bakersfield, and Albert Denler, Walker Stench, Martha Bradley Nindler, and
I love her.
myself.
Always have loved her.
We
The
made
first
over
lady of the
$75.
theater.
Yeah, made over $75 this past month, and where things are going to really pick up. We really believe that. It's called The Great Tree, and
The Great Tree.
The Great Tree. And I had forgotten the theater. You just it's way in back of some stuff.
I thank you for coming and give my best to that wonderful cast, will you? Johnny A crazy mind on him, hasn't he? Funny man. We'll be right back after this, so stay where you are.